Wow, this is an awesome turn-up. Thank you so much for coming out today to share our Christmas service with us. It's our last one for the year. We're going to miss you all. You're going to miss us, are you? Good. We'll be back at the beginning of next year and we'll be ready for another year filled with lots of work and service for Spirit. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Carol Crawford-Kerr and I'm the president here at Ringwood East. And it is really great to see everyone here today to share our final service with us. Anything, I actually want to introduce our platform for this afternoon. It's going to be different this service because it's our Christmas service. So what I would like to do, in order of appearance, I would like to welcome our platform here today. So our first demonstrator for today will be the President Minister of the Victorian Spiritualist Union, Rev Lorraine Lee Tet. Will you join with me? Our second demonstrator for today is a dear friend who's travelled a long way to be with us today, her and her beautiful partner, Paul. So will you join with me in making Erica Aimino very, very welcome. Our third demonstrator, she just thought she was going to do what you're doing, sit in the audience for the day, but we have other plans. So we asked if Maureen Ockenden would please come up and do some demonstrations for this afternoon, and she agreed. So join with me. Demonstrator for today. It's going to be a busy day, isn't it? We are going to welcome another dear friend to our platform for another afternoon of demonstrations on clairvoyance. Will you welcome Les Price? So let me just give you a bit of an overview of what's going to happen today before we invite our first platform demonstrator for today. So we will have two demonstrators and they will do their dems for you, and then we will go into our door prize, and we will not be doing healing obviously throughout the service this day. And we will just be going through our thank yous and appreciation. We'll move into our second half of the day, and then we will do our next part of the service, and then we will invite you to stay. So we hope that you've brought your appetites with you as well. Before I move on though, I thought this was really interesting and I wanted to share with you, and it isn't a Christmas poem or a Christmas quote, but I thought it was very poignant to the spiritualist philosophy and for the direction and the future of the philosophy of spiritualism. This was taken from the SNU's website, and it's just a little snippet, and I just wanted to share it with you because we are all on a journey, and we're all evolving and developing our spiritual awareness and development, and we're all looking for that growth and understanding of who we are. So this here is about evolution, and it's about, let me read this. Do you all know what the SNU is? The Spiritualist National Union. It's really, it's England, and it's where, I guess, the philosophy of spiritualism really took its character, and it's the forerunner to the VSU here in Australia. So, you know, it's our roots and our heritage. We're based on that framework. Evolution is not just allowing things to move on without focus. It requires a change in disposition to direct movement, which is necessary for growth and survival, and further development of original ideas. The power of spirit in action is promoting evolution, whether we like it or not. But if we want to play a part in directing the evolution of spiritualism, we must act constructively now. Do you feel a change in the philosophy and in the ideas? Do you feel a movement growing in the community and understanding of this philosophy, its ideas in everyday life? Think about it. We actually have a show on television which is a psychic medium driving a taxi, giving random readings. I don't maybe agree with that so much, but it's going mainstream. And people are evolving and understanding and embracing our philosophy. And that cannot be a bad thing. So I wanted to share that even the SNU in England understands that we move, we grow, we progress, we change, we expand, and we welcome new ideas. And hopefully the VSU will be able to do that too and keep that ongoing support to its community of members, which are you. So now, I would like to introduce our platform for today, our first demonstrator, the President and the Minister of the Victorian Spiritualist Union. Will you please welcome the Rev Lorraine Lee Tet.
Hello everyone. I don't quite know where to stand. I'll come over here. Is that all right? Do you want to sit where I was sitting? If I come down there, no one will see me.
Lovely dress, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Hello everyone and welcome today. Now, Carol did mention that you'll be closing, but of course we won't be closing. We'll be there at North Melbourne all through the holidays, and our service for the Christmas is next week. So we would love to see you in there visiting us during that time. So I just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, sorry, I should have.
Yeah. Now, I don't usually start this way, but I'm going to ask, can someone recognise the name of Joe known as Joey in the spirit world? No one can?
Joseph, not Joey.
I got Joey. Kevin, can you?
Yes.
Because on my way here, I had this voice in my head about Joe, and it was Joey, known as Joey. And it was a lady who was talking about Joey. And she said to me, he didn't see old bones. Now, would that make sense to you? He didn't see old bones, which would mean he died, before his time.
Yeah.
Okay, can I work with you then to see
Yeah.
where we go with this? Because obviously I was driving the car and I wasn't going to get too caught up in it at that time. Now the lady who is with him, she would either be mum or grandmother, I would believe, this lady, in the spirit world as well.
And I didn't know his parents.
You may not have known the lady. Now, as I'm asking for more information about Joey, I would say this young man, I want to say, I don't know, maybe 20s, 30s, maybe even 40s, but would have been a fairly happy-go-lucky sort of character, I believe.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you? So I doubt that he's not family though, is he?
No.
No. It didn't feel as if it was that close a connection, and that's why I wondered whether or not you would know the lady. So he comes simply to be remembered. Now, I don't know what's happened around you recently, but I feel like there's some sort of connection, a remembrance that has brought him close to you. Some similarity perhaps in, when you knew him, if you can relate to that.
Did a bit of drinking.
Sorry?
Did a bit of drinking together.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because it's Christmas time. And as you said that, he's showing me what do you call it? Those beer steins. And it's sort of got frothal on the top of it. And he just simply wants to have a drink with you. have a drink with you. So can I leave Joey with you and his thought there?
Okay.
Thank you, Kevin. Now, I've also, while we were having that song, and wasn't it beautiful, my heart was pounding. I had to pull myself right back down. I have a family here, a family. Mum and Dad and 2 children who would have gone into the spirit world together. Can anyone place this family? Mum and Dad and 2 children. May have been a car accident, something like that. Would have been unexpected, obviously. Nobody can place it. I feel like there's a connection with someone and one of the children. One of the children. So you may have known, or one of your children may have known one of the children. I'll have to leave it if no one can.
That's not my family, I'm adopted. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I know the parents, and I was friends with the parents passed, but the children survived, and I was friends with the children
Okay,
in an
okay.
accident.
So can I work with you and just see if no one else can understand that? Because as I was sitting there, it just came in with so much emotion. And so it's the parents in the spirit world, but it was an accident, it was an accident. Yes. And the children wouldn't have been old, were they? They were quite youngish.
Yes.
Would it be a boy and a girl?
3
not
children,
sure.
but there was definitely a boy and a girl. Yes.
Right, okay. Did the 3rd child pass later? Well, you may not remember that. May have passed later.
There was a significant health issue with one of the children.
Oh, okay. So I think we're on the right track here. And they just so much want to be remembered. So I don't know if you've still got a connection there where you can place this, because it's so important that the children then that know about it. So I just had this urgency that someone had to know they were okay, you know. So this would be a little while ago, wouldn't it? You know, not a long, long while ago. I want to go back, I don't know, because I'm seeing them as they were. You know, they weren't old people. You know, they're telling us. They want to tell us that they actually celebrate Christmas in the spirit world as well. And although they're here sharing with us, they have their own celebration too. We probably don't really think about that, do we? You know, but they want to bring in this awareness that they're okay. They're okay. And would it have been around the Christmas time that this would have happened? Okay, because it just gives me, that's the importance there. They want these children that are still here not to be in pain every Christmas. As I've got the lady coming in here, she would have been, I think, a fair sort of fair lady, not perhaps as light as you, but not as dark as me, somewhere, you know, like that. I just have to say it wasn't their fault. It wasn't their fault. Now, I don't know whether people thought that whoever was driving went to sleep at the wheel, but I don't believe that's what happened. I feel like there was some sort of heart event or something like that. Some health event that actually caused it. Okay? So you would have been quite close to someone there involved with that. Yeah. So, you know, there's nothing more, you know, I just want to leave that with you and the emotion that comes with it, because they so much want the children, and I think there's the children, would you know whether they have children of their own now?
They would have.
Yeah. Because they're talking about that too, you know, and they're so excited about Christmas, so there must be a fairly young child around with these, you know, like grandchildren for them, because they want to know that they're there and they want to celebrate with them. They don't want the sadness to be hanging over like hanging over the lunch table. Right? So can I leave that with you?
Absolutely, thank you.
I just have to get my water. And I want to say to somebody else, I know Christmas often brings, memories, and it's not a happy time for lots of different reasons, but someone in particular, it's very hard to celebrate. So, if that's you, please remember, people that love us in the spirit world, our loved ones, they want us to celebrate. They don't want us to be sad. And it's so important to them that we get the joy out of this opportunity. Because if we're sad, then it makes them sad. If we're happy, they can be happy as well, because their life in the spirit world is beautiful. And they don't want to see us sad. So if Christmas brings really sad memories and thoughts into your mind, acknowledge it, but then enjoy your time with your family and your loved ones, or whoever you celebrate with, because those in the spirit world want to be able to do that too. I'd like to come to the gentleman there in the black t-shirt. Hello? Yeah?
Yeah.
Can I come to you? I don't know why yet, but I feel like I've got a gentleman here with you. Now, I don't know whether it's Dad or Grandfather who comes in here. He would have been quite tall as well. You look as if you're pretty tall. I don't know if he's quite as tall as you know. And I feel like there would have been some sort of a heart condition around this gentleman before he passed. Now, would this be Dad or
It's a
Grandfather?
father figure.
You can't tell. Your father's still here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like I've got father's father though,
Yeah.
if that's the case. And you showed me a wheelbarrow. A wheelbarrow. Have you got some work you have to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm asking you, okay, what's this wheelbarrow about? I feel like he would have been a bit of a gardener, this gentleman. You may or may not know about that, but he's got this wheelbarrow and it's got all these little pot plants in it. All these little pots in it. So, I don't know if it's about the garden though. I don't think it's about the garden. I think it's about something else. Does that make sense? So, it's as if you've got quite a few things to put into place.
Yep.
And as he talks about that, he says, do it like the garden. Stand back and look and see where each thing fits best. You need to think about it. You need to plan it. You know how a landscape gardener would come in and they'd look at your garden and they'd say, well, this is best here because of the sun and whatever else. Or whatever this project is that you're looking at, you need to stand back and look at the bigger picture and plan all those pots you've got in your head, all those plans in your head. There's a place for each one of them. And you need all of them. I feel like you need all of them. Don't discard any of them. You need them all. And it'll all fit together. As you do it, it'll all come together. And it's like you're going to be building it as you go. If that makes sense,
Yeah.
you can understand, because I've got not a clue what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, as long as you understand.
Yeah, I can place that.
He's talking about Bert in the spirit world. Albert or Bert.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a Jeff comes in here somewhere now. Jeff may not be family. You might have to think about that. You might want to go back a few years, to your school days even, for this fellow. Jeff. Just keep it in your mind and you might come. And there's an S name, either a Sonia or a Sophie or something like that. In the spirit world as well. And I don't think she's family either. Comes in to be remembered. And once again, I feel like you've got to go back a bit. Mary though, Mary is family.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, comes in here as well. And Dorothy. the name of Dorothy comes in. Dotty, I want to say. You might have to think about that. Is your mum still here? Yeah, you might have to ask your mum about Dotty, I feel. This is what I'm being told. Think about a brother, your brother. You got a brother? Someone's brother in the spirit world. Who's got the brother in the spirit world? Would that be a close friend of yours, has a brother in the spirit world?
Yeah, I can't really place that.
Sorry?
I can't really place that.
Okay, just, sorry, I don't like giving, what they say, things in a paper bag. I don't want to do that, but I have to give you that, because a friend's brother in the spirit world, and I feel like the friend would be a lady. So you'll remember, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I leave that with you? And as I go, this gentleman, your grandfather, he's taken me back to a place where there was some sort of, I don't know whether it's a lake or a dam or something like that. Yeah, just bringing in that memory of time, so you know for sure that it is here with us, bringing the love for the family. Can I leave that with you?
I think we need to finish up.
I
Can get everyone
Thank
in,
you.
please? And now, will you please welcome Erica Aimino to our platform.
Thank you. Thank you, Carol, and all the platform workers for today. And my name is Erica, and I work. I either come directly to you, or I just feel the area that I may be working with. And if you just say yes, no, and if you don't understand, just make that clear if you would. I feel like I'm coming to the lady just with a lovely green scarf at the end here. Hello, what's your name?
Mary.
Mary. Hello, Mary. Just as I work with the spirit world, I know that a gentleman steps forward, and I know that he feels like father in the spirit world, and I know that as he steps forward, he very much is a very well-dressed man. I want to say he was very particular about the way in which he presented himself, and I know that he would have combed his hair and kept himself very well groomed. Do you understand that, Mary? Do you also understand with him there's a real gentleness in his character and the way that your father would have conducted himself? And do you also recognise that there was a real honesty with your father, and he would be quite what I call a sharpshooter? He'd say it to you like it was, but never to hurt your feelings. He would just be very diplomatic. I also understand with him, though, he could have a slight dry sense of humour as he steps forward. And I also know that there's a sense of, you very much share the same sense of humour as your father would have. Do you recognise that? And I also know with your father that there's another gentleman that steps forward with him, and I know that he would have gone to war, and I know that he's connected to your father. Do you recognise him also? All right, because I just know that as I become aware of father, there also is a gentleman that would have perhaps been in the Navy, is what I feel. So I don't know whether you're aware of that Navy connection within the family. All right, I'll just leave that there. But just come back to your father for a moment. I know with him, he was the type of gentleman that was very bright. He was very alert and very sharp of mind. Do you recognise that? Because I know that he never missed a beat, your father, and I very much become aware that you're very much the same. You conduct your life in a very organised and methodical way, and that has put you in very good stead. And I also recognise with your father that there's there's a wristwatch or something that he would have left behind within the family. Do you see that? All right, because I just know that he brings my attention to the wristwatch, and I also understand with him that he would have had quite particular penmanship, because I just become aware that his writing was quite unique and distinctive. And I also know with your father that there's a sense of being very practical. He could have also turned a hand at many things, even though he was quite an intelligent man also. And I know that he takes me to a garden, and I know that there's a real sense of a love of the garden with you, because I know that he takes my attention to being around you very much when you're tending to this garden or you're admiring the flowers within it. Do you recognise that? Because I just know that it's a sense of, you can almost smell him the way that he comes forward. When you're in the garden, you become aware of his presence. Do you recognise that? All right. Do you ever feel like perhaps there's somebody with you though? Because I just know that when you're in that space, I just very much become aware of that. Well, I just want to say to you that your father, as he steps forward, this time of the year, he's saying, is very significant, and you have lots of people around you. It's quite a busy time, but I know that he's saying sometimes there's a tendency to perhaps slow it down a fraction, because you are a person that still keeps a very busy lifestyle. Do you recognise that? And he's saying don't overdo it on the day. He's saying because there's lots of people within the family that come and support you, and just take it a little bit easy this year. And I also know, just as he finishes up, he just moves my mind to a photograph that you have on a mantle or a sideboard or something within your house. And I know that at the Christmas time or significant times of the year, you either light a candle or have a bunch of flowers or something in memory of him. Do you recognise that? Okay. Do you understand the picture being on a sideboard or something like a piece of furniture within your home? Yes, because he just makes me aware of that, and he's a little bit chuffed that you actually still think of him often. So I'll leave the love of your father with you, and God bless, and thank you for working with me. Let's see where else I may go. I feel like I'm coming to the gentleman with the blue shirt, the checkered shirt. Hello, what's your name?
Angela.
Angelo. Hello, Angelo. I just feel like I have a gentleman from the spirit world stepping forward, and as he steps forward, I know that he's quite a warm character. I know that his presence is very well received within the family. It's almost like he's the life of the family, and everybody loved his company. And as I know that I work with him, there seems to be respiratory or heart-related conditions as I connect to him. Do you make sense of my information thus far, Angelo?
No, I can't place it yet.
Not the heart condition, because I very much become aware that that he suffered from almost like angina or perhaps even heart palpitations. And I know that the way that he presents to me is he's very stoic about his health. He wouldn't have liked to discuss it or disclose it with people. He's a very private man, even though he feels like a quite jovial person within the family. Do you understand that at all?
Not the heart thing, not the heart condition.
All right, but do you take the rest of the information? Does that resonate with you? That this person was very much the life of the family, very jovial person, and he's a very generous man. He would have given the shirt off his own back to help other people. Do you recognise that?
Yes.
Because I know that the way that he presents to me is in that way. And I know that he's a person that may not have wanted to slow down in life, because I know there's always a busyness with his character and his demeanour. Do you recognise that? Because I just know that he gives me those health issues, but I know that he was very private, and perhaps he may have been suffering a little bit without people being aware of this. But I also know that his mobility towards the end was slightly affected. Do you recognise that? Like within his legs or something like that, he very much had to slow down. All right. I also become aware that he talks about the family being at one time very close, but there's been perhaps a little bit of disjointedness, and people are scattered in many places now. Do you recognise that?
Yes.
And that unity is not lost, but it's not what it once was when he was in the living. And I also know that the way that he presents to me is that he's inviting you to perhaps reconnect with those within your family group, because he's giving me a sense of it's not always been an easy time for you, and that's been rather challenging. Do you recognise that? But he's just impressing on my mind that you're in need of this love and support at the moment, and he's saying that you've got a tendency sometimes to overdo things too physically, and he's just saying, just pace yourself. And I know that he gives me a sense of there's a work situation, or work is troubling you at the moment, and into next year things are going to change in that perspective. Do you recognise what he talks of?
Possibly.
About the work situation being quite hectic and a bit difficult.
Oh, that's
and,
heavy. Yeah.
Okay, because I just know that he's impressing on my mind that next year there's going to be a little bit of a change there, and it's not going to be such a hectic time, and you're going to get a little bit more support moving forward. So just know that this gentleman, as he steps forward, brings all his love during this Christmas season. Thank you for working with me. God bless.
Thank you.
Yeah, one more.
One more, yeah, quick.
Sorry. My mind was in the planning and organising.
Sorry, I talk very quickly. I feel like I may be coming to the lady in the black. Just straight ahead with the black hair, dark hair. Thank you. Hello, what's your name? Adela. Thank you. I become aware of a lady in the spirit world with me, and I know that as she comes forward, she's a very proper lady, and I know that she's quite a strong character, and I know that she's a lady that perhaps wouldn't have minced her words. She'd say it like it is, and I know that she was very hard-working and very fastidious about the way in which she kept her home and the way that she did things. Do you understand some of my information thus far? Yes. And I know that she's family to you as I connect to her. And I know that this lady, she was quite influential in your life in the way that she brings the information through, because I know that you're very similar in terms of your character to her. Would you understand that? I also know that she was a really good cook, because I know that she's putting on a big banquet as I connect to her at this time of the year, and I know that she would never have bought anything packet. Do you recognise that? Because I just know that she takes me to all this food that perhaps is not what we call traditional Australian food. Do you see that with her? Because I know that she takes me to foreign kind of cuisines and desserts in my mind. Do you see that? I feel like she makes us like a pastry of some description, and she was well known for this pastry. Does that make sense to you? Strange things they give me, but I know that she just wants you to remember this. But she also gives me that you're very particular about this time of the year, and you like to put on a very big show, and this is a big deal for you, Christmas time. You love it to death. And I also know that she's saying that you get in pretty early this time of the year. Like, you put the carols on and you've got your house and all tidied up and ready for Christmas. She's saying this is your very favourite time of the year. And she says that you know that spirit comes in and you can feel them this time of the year. And by geez, you've got a very big family in the spirit world, because I know as I connect to her, like, there's all these people that I can just feel around me. And I know that they were people that would have all spoken at once, because they just love each other's company. Does that make sense to you at all? Because I just then become aware of a gentleman with her, and I know that he was like her rock, and he was a very nice, wholesome gentleman that just loved his family, and he was so hard working, but he loved her to bits. Does that make sense to you? And I know that he passes to the spirit world from becoming ill, and I know that he was very strong all the way through until he passes to the spirit. And I just want to acknowledge him as he comes through with your lady too. And I'm going to leave this beautiful Christmas time with you, and God bless, and thank you for working with me. Thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our next platform presenter. Will you welcome Maureen Ockenden to our platform?
You're all frightening. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't cross your arms and legs. And when I come to you, I'd just like to hear your voice and your name. It's like the supermarket, isn't it? Okay. I'd like to come to you, please. Now your name?
Craig.
Greg.
Craig.
Craig. As I come to you, Craig, I'm a young man here, actually, and we seem to be going back a little while, and he's quite excited to be here. He's sort of got this agitated around him, you know, at this time, because he's sort of in this frame of condition, okay? He says he was a friend of yours going back a little while, and he actually took his own life.
No, definitely he's going to be.
That's okay. Okay. Sometimes they say it, and other times they don't.
Hey, Robbie.
Okay. Give me his name. It's nice. No, they don't always give me their name. You just give me enough about them, you know what I mean? And as I said, he sort of like was very deep. And people really took him the wrong way. Can you understand that? At times. It was just his nature and his habit. And he's coming in because he thought it would be nice to sort of just let you know that although there was quite a big question mark around his passing, and also there's still, even today, a lot, he is mentioned a lot, can you understand? In thought and with people. And he says to you at this time that even though you've been on a little bit of a roller coaster this year in a lot of events, can you understand? And he says to you, it hasn't panned out the way you wanted it. But he said that's made you a lot to do with yourself. Do you understand?
Yes.
And it's time to look into 2002, even though he's not kind of predicting for you. He's trying to give you some encouragement. Do you understand? And he's trying to give you a bit of confidence, which you kind of lost a little bit on the way. And he said, be you. Sorry?
I tried, mate.
Okay, no, that's fine. But he's just saying, be you. And it doesn't matter what the outside is, what you want to present. It's the inside that's going to be counting. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And that was going to mean a lot to you in a sense. And before I close with him, because he's really like, you know, bouncing around here, and I'm tired, but, you know, it doesn't help much. But then, you know, he's sort of saying to you that, you know, if you learn to say 2 words, which is no, it will make a damn bloody difference.
Yeah.
May I leave that with you?
Excellent. Thank you. Hey, Robbie.
I'd like to come to those against the wall over there. Although I've seen your face before, I don't really know you. Could I have your name?
Which one of us?
Well, sorry, Dad. I'll come to you in a minute. The lady with the blonde hair.
Narelle.
Sorry?
Narelle?
Narelle. Because you walked in the door and I was sitting there and this gentleman appeared straight away and I'd really been talking to him, but he had to wait. He's a very impatient man. Do you understand? And he sort of is not that old. In his 40s, he's appeared around about that. But he actually got shorts on. You understand? He's coming in like a nice rugged type of look with him. And he's sort of like, as I said, he actually understood a little about this philosophy. Could you understand that?
Yeah.
So he said he wasn't naive to it, and he kind of quite liked about it. Can you understand?
Okay.
I'm getting a lot with breathing here, so I'm not sure how he passed, but it was a bit tragic. Can you understand? Because I've been asked him to bring my thing back because I've got the chest here. And okay. Coming in because, again, likes to for you to acknowledge that you are aware of late he's been around a lot. Can you understand that?
Okay.
And he said he don't mean to be a nuisance, but he is. But that's what he's saying. You understand? Okay. But he said he don't mean to be, but he's just giving you that kind of like. He wants to jump to the young lady next to him, but I believe you are his daughter, is that right? Say yes, no, whatever. Sorry?
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
thank you. Because he's pointing to you and he said, I have to get a word in with you because normally I don't get a word in. Can you understand that? But he's sort of just saying to you that little things are important, not big things for Christmas. Do you understand? He sort of just wants to the point of saying little things count. Don't worry about big things.
Yeah.
So he said that because in a way your mind goes 10 to the dozen all the time. You're very much like your dad. You understand?
Yeah.
And comes in with a lot of love for you both, and for the young man on the back, and he says he's not forgetting the little one either. Take his love.
Thank you.
There's nothing in you. Shh. It's an emotional time, you know, even for us mediums. The lovely lady there with the glasses and blonde hair, who I really can't miss because of the gentleman that's with me. Now your name, please.
Oh, Maureen.
Mafaldi.
Maureen.
Oh, Mafalda. Excuse my nationality.
Oh,
Okay, he's here. I'll have to ask him quick because I am aware of him. And you know who he is. He's coming with his daughter there. But he just wants to say, I'm here too. I'm just letting you know I'm here. And I was here when you left. And he said, you're always forgetting things. Do you understand?
that's it, it's all right.
Not my fault, it's him. He said, it's a wonder you forget to put your underwear on after. He said it's not a pretty sight, but you're the one that said that. You got more option now, he said. He said, what's the matter with you? You should know that now. He said, now you've been watching, won't you? He just sends his love to you, and he knows you're thinking of it this time of the year. Yeah, you know it. It's nice to have good voice. Okay. And they do say those things, believe you me. I don't joke. Okay. Can I come to the lady on the end there, please? Yeah, you don't need to turn around. Your name?
Francis.
Francis, may I come to you?
Thank you.
Francis, I have a lot of water around you, which indicates at this time, you said, there's a little bit of serenity needed for you at this time. Yeah, a little bit of peace and quiet. Can you understand that? It is needed. It's just been shown around you. I have a lovely lady who's coming in, and she wasn't much taller than me, but then anybody was bloody taller than me. And she sort of like had a nice sense of humour, but at times she could be a little bit strict. Can you understand? I have a very motherly feeling with her. You know what I mean? And she sort of finds that she'd like to be independent. She wanted to, you know, do things her own way. But she said sometimes the family just wouldn't let that happen. Do you understand? And she said, you're getting a little bit like that now. So she said, you should understand now why. And she sort of wants to just say at this time that due to, just before her passing or around that time, she kind of pushed people away. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And again, it's just part of wanting to not, she always felt she didn't want to sort of rely on him a lot, you know, because again, I could do it. But there was a lot of conditionings in the body, which we're aware of. And I'm also going to my head. So I feel her memory was going a little bit lapsed. She wasn't too bad, it was getting, she said. But in a sense, she comes in with a lot of love for you, and she's just sort of saying to you that in a way that she felt she needed to be closer to you, but there was just that little bit of, you know, you understand. Yes, I don't need to go into personally. And she apologizes in a way for that. And in all honesty, she's not a lady who apologizes much.
No, she isn't.
Okay. But again, she's doing it at this time. And she's saying to you keep going on the path you're going. Do you understand? And she says you need to be doing things for you.
Well, I'm starting to.
Okay? It's
Yes.
time out for you.
Yes.
She feels it's a necessary thing for you to sort of put yourself aside, regardless to those around you, my time. Let me hear a little bit about me. May I leave that with you?
Thank you very much, Maureen.
Now you all thought I was going to get them. That's right. The lady on the end up there with the, I'm not sure, big colour haircut.
Janice.
Ginny, may I come to you please?
Yes.
Ginny, is it?
Janice.
There is dogs running around you, and there's cats everywhere, and there's a horse. I have a lovely dog with me. Can you understand that? Even though it could belong to half a dozen people here, so don't worry. It just takes an attachment to you. As I come to you, love, I have two people here, and I feel with them, they weren't very much in difference when they passed. Okay? And they're coming in to kind of give you a bit of an uplift at the moment, even though it's Christmas. As we say, sometimes it could be a bit daunting too. Do you understand that? And they're sort of just coming in to just say to you, it will be all right. It will be all right. You really can't do no more than what you've done. Do you understand that? And I feel a lovely either mother or father in a sense, in a way there. Do you understand that? And the lady stepping forward because she feels that even though they also are very family oriented, but they can only do what they could do. Can you understand that? And you need to learn from mum in a way. Because sometimes you've got to set yourself aside. And she feels that even though, as we say, it's a time for celebration, it can be very lonely too. But they're there with you. Do you understand that? And they have other siblings with them too. They just want you to acknowledge. And that they feel in a way too, if you possibly can look at the new year for you again, to be making something that you're going to put yourself out there a little. Do you understand that? I'm not sure if you are into healing or like healing. But there is things there, if you ask the committee, that they always have open arms and welcoming people. You understand? And they're just sort of saying they feel that you need to be perhaps out there a little. And sort of not to be acknowledged, but to have someone and make it, this is my time, this is where I go on this day or that day or whatever. Do you understand that? But they do come in with a lot of love for you and a lot of appreciation for what you have done for the family. Even though you may not get it from the family. You understand? May I leave that with you? See, that clock don't move. Just that.
Finish up, wait for
Finish your course. Can I come to this lovely lady in front, looking with that? Can I have your name? We called you up dancing. What's your name, love? Liz. Liz. Okay, across your legs, As I come to you, I have a young lady. But I feel we're going back a little while with this lady. And I feel she sort of just wants to connect either as a friend or like an acquaintance to you. You understand? A lovely outgoing person. I feel, again, she had a little bit of a dreadful passing with conditions of the body. Okay? You can't acknowledge it. Could you acknowledge this lady? Young lady?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Okay. She definitely wants to just connect to you, but hold on to her as I go a little bit more. I feel, as I said, a friend, or, or it could be someone that you looked upon as a sister in one respect. If you can't, that's okay. No one next to it can relate to that? Check on the ass. No? So I don't want to let her go because she's such a lovely lady. But she wants to really stick with you. Can you connect with us?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I don't normally do that, but because it's so strong, she's just there. Okay. Usually they say, that's my friend, that's my mum, that's my dad. Okay. May you take this lady?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, love.
That's all right.
It's just she's there, and she wants to be acknowledged at this time to say that she wants to encourage you also to start doing something for yourself too. Do you understand that? She said because, again, you have a lot of thoughts, and you're quite good with your hands. Can you relate to that? My sister, fine, whatever. She just feels you are. And she comes in with a lot of respect for you. Do you understand? And she said, you're good for listening. Yes, you understand? And you listened to her, and you were there for her.
I don't know how she went exactly.
That's okay. But she's just coming in to take this opportunity to show you that even though sometimes when they pass and we go over a lot of things, that they are there. And we can call on them, even as a friend, for any advice or anything to be led into a direction. Do you understand? And she's coming with a lot of love to encourage you to think about what's ahead. Sometimes she said you just don't think. She said you don't think, you just, and that's it, and then you say, oh, shouldn't have done that. You understand? May I leave that with you?
Yeah.
Can I jump for one quick one? Can I go back to you again, what's your name?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, can't let you go. I have a gentleman here with you. I feel it's a father figure, can you understand? And he's quite upright and can be a bit demanding when he was on the earth plane. Do you understand? And he felt that he lost touch with you a little. But not necessarily physically, but he just feels that you don't need to be lonely. Do you understand? And he said, you've got to make it that there are people around you. May I leave that with you? Thank you. Thank you.
Please welcome Les Price to our platform.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a lovely platform. Lovely to be here. Thank you for warming up the space. Hopefully it's still warm. Hopefully there's still people in the supermarket. Some leftover shoppers. And I definitely want to drink what Maureen's drinking. I order one of those. It seems to be working. So great. So we're here to bring spirits through for you. So if I do come to you, if I could just have your name. And again, if you can place what I'm sharing, a big loud yes. And if you can't, a very soft. Great, so I need to come actually to a girl who's been with me for quite a while, since I probably came here. I feel this young lady, beautiful soul, but she actually passed quite young. She's showing me that she probably passed around the age of 16 to 18, those kind of late teenage years, that she had long brown or reddish coloured hair. I feel the way she passed, and she struggled quite a bit in early age. I feel I'm over here somewhere. Early age, she passed, she had eating disorders. There was a lot of issues with her mental state and just depression. But I feel she passed through some either taking tablets and alcohol, and I feel there was some music event. There's a nod in here. May I come to you? Okay. Could I just have your name?
Yeah.
We'll get some tissues for you to pass those down. Look, she comes to you today and she really just wants to... I feel she was just a really beautiful soul when she was younger. She's taking me back into her bedroom and showing me that she was very creative. Like, I see her kind of drawing. Can you place this? Like, I feel like she used to doodle and draw, and that was the way she kind of dealt with what was going on around her. I feel there was quite a lot happening around family. Can you place this? And it was her way of going inside in order to find her happy space. And she just wants to come through today because she wants to just remind you she's in a happy space now. You know, often when they pass like that, but this whole thing that she was going through, and she's doing this with her whole body and what went on. She said it kind of got to the extremes, and then it was almost like when this thing happened, she said, I didn't know it was going to come to that. But I've made peace now. I'm kind of happy with that. Can you place around it that there was almost, she's showing me like there was brothers in the family, there was a younger, she's showing me younger souls.
She had all those siblings.
Yeah, I'm being shown, there's two younger boys I feel like she either looked after or she spent a lot of time with. Yeah. She's wanting to be remembered to them because it was almost like she misses that connection of being that big sister, but she's around them. And she's moving on with her path now. The message I feel that she wants to bring through for you, and it's interesting because she's showing me a couple of steps. She's showing me that you've only just started, or maybe it's only just new, this kind of whole area for you. Can you place this?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and she's wanting to encourage you. She said there's been a few thoughts in your minds of wanting to explore further, and the moment we get awakened, that's it. Who knows, we can't go back. You know, it's like something happens and this passion is in us. And I feel, and you're the friend next door? Yeah? And I feel the two of you, you know, can work with this together and just connect more with spirit and more with what they want to bring for you. She's also showing me a little dog around you, a little fluffy kind of thing. I want to say, I don't know my dogs that well, but can you place this dog? I feel it might be in spirit too. There's one around.
I've got some in spirit and some not in spirit.
Yeah, she's showing me this tiny little dog in spirit that she plays with, that she's looking after, that is around and comes through for you. And finally, she just wants to place this because I'm not sure who this is or the name that's around it. She's giving me two things at the moment. She's saying in November there was a very special date or anniversary. There was something important in November towards the middle. Yeah? You can place what this is?
I'm thinking there is something there.
There's something there. She's giving me the number 13, but it's around there somewhere. It's in the middle and something happened. She's almost showing me, if you go back and think about it, something important happened in the middle of November and it was significant for you. And she just wants to bring that through. Just say it's her way of connecting, and you'll think of it. You'll place the connection. Maybe go, she's showing me your phone. Go back to your phone, look in your diary. Something's there. It's important around that day. And the other thing she just wanted to bring is there's a name around, and it's, I don't know if it's around her or the family, but there's a Sarah. So who's the Sarah connection with, that was either around her or with her?
High school.
Okay, she's showing me there's a joint connection. She says the two of you knew this person. Okay, maybe just hold on to it and connect, but she's wanting to bring it through for a purpose, and she's saying, this soul, whoever this Sarah is, she's saying she's moving forward with a few things, and I'm not sure whether you've still got connection with her. No? Okay. So let's see why she's bringing it through. She's saying that Sarah's moving forward with a few things that she needs to take care of. She needs to be a bit careful about the direction she's going. And she's kind of watching over and she's concerned. So if you do connect with this person again, just watch over them. I'll leave her with you.
Yes.
Thank you. Great, let's see where else we're going today. I feel I need to come to the lady right in the corner at the back. Yes. Janelle, is it?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Which one?
In the white.
That one. Oh,
Yes, the
Janelle.
one you're pointing to. May I come to you? Okay. Look, it might be the day because it's Christmas for children, but I've actually got a young soul, and I feel it's a child that's gone into spirit, either as a miscarriage or very young. They're showing me the last 3 years. But they're showing me it's somebody connected with you who's almost like a sister figure. Maybe a friend or someone close. It feels like they were trying for a child or they were looking and this child passed. Can you place this friend?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. The child is actually coming through. And before she was almost like, I know I saw you jump to the window at one stage, but this child was wanting to take you outside. And it's almost metaphorical because she's showing me that she's showing me you need to step out of, she's showing me like a box you've been in for like this year or the last 2 years, and it's time for something new. Can you place this energy of the need to do that, to enter the new? Yeah. So she's outside. I feel okay, who's the Jennifer? She's showing me Jenny or a Jennifer connection.
Jenny, yes.
Yes, you can place this. Can you place this in connection to this child? Can you place the Jennifer connection around you?
Around me, yes.
Yes,
When I was
okay.
younger.
Yeah. Okay, so let me hold down. Let me just get a bit more from her. Okay. Look, I have to go with what she's showing me. She's taking me outside. She's showing me planter boxes, and she's saying it's time to dig up the past and throw it out. She's saying there's been a few things that have happened in the past that no longer serve, and it's time to let them go as we go into this new year. Yeah. She brings through also this kind of headpiece, like a headband, and it almost feels like it's something that you maybe had as a child. I see it with these beautiful flowers on it, and I almost feel it's been placed on you, a bit like a crown. Can you place this? It's almost like I feel it's mother energy placing it around you. Okay. I sense like there's mothers here, but I feel like there's a grandmother connection on mother's side who's coming through with this for you. I'm not sure we can place the words. She's just saying, I'm just going to finish up on this. She's saying, you're my princess. You're the one that I watch over and I look after and I take care of. And we have a bond. There's something with either dates of birth or a connection with grandmother on mother's side with you. Can you place this connection with dates of birth or the month? Yeah? So she's just watching over, just wants you to know that you're taken care of. A lot of love comes with her. Next year, what do you need to do?
Out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah, and step into the new energy. Step out of what you've been doing. Yeah. Last thing I was going to bring in, has there been nursing around you? Like nursing or caring? There has been? Yes? Is that something you're looking to do or something you've been doing?
Neither.
Neither. Okay. She's showing me this energy around you. She says your heart is big. It's almost like going into caring or doing something that is serving people. It needs to do that rather than being up here in the head. Okay? May I leave her with you and leave this child? Thank you. Okay. We've got 5 minutes, isn't it? So 2 quick ones I'm going to come to. May I come to the lady here with the glasses? Oh, actually, no, just in front here. In the front. Kim, thank you, Kim. I have a gentleman here in spirit who comes through. It feels like on father's side of the family. I feel there's a G connection. It's either like, he wants to give me, it's almost like a George or a Jeremy, some connection on father's side. Can you place this?
Yeah.
He's showing me that. He's showing me his fond love of food, because it is Christmas. He's showing me he actually put on a little bit of weight towards the end of his life. But he's showing me that he was very proud. It's almost like there's a photo of him, and he's wearing braces or a jacket. And he's very upright, and he's showing one side of his face. It's like there's a family photo. Can you place this photo?
I think I can.
Yeah. He's saying this was my best side. He was also showing me a fond love of music and also dance when he was younger. But he says towards the end of his life, it's almost, I feel like there was something up here. There was almost like breathing and lungs. There were some issues around before he passed. He struggled to get his words out. Can you place this? Yeah. He's coming to be remembered today. Because he says it's Christmas, and he says it's a very significant year. I'm not sure why he's saying that. He's saying that a lot has happened to you, and a lot of things in the family, and they've been a bit like this. But he says you're one that actually takes the reins, and you hold everything together, and you just keep moving forward, okay? And he just wants to acknowledge you for that, and thank you for that energy that you bring. And he's just wanting to be remembered. And he's got this old music song, and I feel it's going back. It's almost like I feel there's a Sinatra connection with him. He's shown me a song in a way of I'm doing it my way. He says, you just go along and do it your way. Yeah. May I leave him with you? Yeah, thank you. A lot of love. And finally, last one, I have to come. I'm not sure who Maureen was coming to. It was yourself, was it? Because I couldn't see who. May I come to you again? Okay. Just to finish up, I've got a lady here who, when she passed, she's showing me that she was probably in her 50s, late 40s, 50s. She had short blonde hair, very curly. She's saying that when she passed quite quickly. She didn't really get all of her affairs in order. She's also showing me, it's like almost, I feel it's on mother's side of the family, that when she passed, there was a lot of things left in turmoil, like left unfinished. Yeah? Can you place, I mean, the word I'm getting and the name I'm kind of getting is almost like a Lorna or a Laurel. It's an L name. And it feels like it's connected to mother's side of the family. I don't feel it's mother, I feel it's more like a friend or an auntie or some connection on that side. Okay, can you place dogs? I feel like there's and I'm showing a big dog, like a white, kind of grey big dog, almost like a greyhound or a Dane. It was a bigger type dog. She showed me there was a fond love of this animal and these animals. Okay, can anybody else place any of this? Okay. It's funny, you're in the middle. Here's the thing, you're meant to get a message today, and they're coming through in different ways. So I'm just going to hold you for a moment. I'm just going to come here. Which bits could you place?
Lorna.
Lorna?
My cousin. Yeah.
Okay, I am with you, because as soon as you said her name, I'm getting all this emotion coming up in here. So I'm just going to come in and I'll come back to the message for you in this. I feel the emotion is there because she felt like when she passed, there were a lot of things that were either unsaid or unresolved in the family. Can you place this? She's saying there was a bit of tension even after she passed with how to organise her affairs and different things that went on. And she could watch it and she wasn't quite happy with it. Can you place that?
That'd be right.
Yeah. It's almost her personality was one that she would want to make things. If she was here, she'd be telling people what to do. And it never happened. She just wants to be remembered to you. She wants to say that, okay, what she's bringing to me, she says, at the moment for you, she says, you're a lovely soul, but sometimes there's a need to speak up.
Right.
Can you place it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can understand, she's just bringing you the gift of assertiveness. She said, she watches over you, and she would have been somebody to have said something, and not have, she would have stood her ground. She just brings that energy to you coming forth. That, you know, you can still love people, but you can still speak your truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
The final thing I feel, and it's the energy of what she brings, this woman, I feel the gift she wants to bring to you, and it's almost like a present is, and it kind of relates to Maureen's message that it feels like the last 2 months there's been a lot of things going through, and there's almost a feeling of, there's a bit of sadness around. This is the sense I get. And it's almost like she's just wanting to bring through, with Christmas, it's just time to be free, to let this go. I feel the energy isn't necessarily yours, it's almost like taking other people's stuff on. And I feel there's a lady around, you might connect with her in this world, whose stuff maybe you've been just taking on. It's just been too much. Sometimes we have to say, yes, return to sender. Yeah? With lots of love, if somebody gives you a gift and you refuse to accept it, to whom does the gift belong? To them. So don't take people's stuff, just give it back and move forward and know you can be free in your own heart. A lot of love to you to lift the energy in the next couple of weeks. Yeah? New Year is coming. Let it go. Can I leave that with you? Thank you.
So we have come to the end of our service, and it has been an amazing demonstration of clairvoyant mediumship and connection to spirit. Spiritualist churches and the philosophy teach that we can communicate with those who are in the spirit realm, and we say, don't take our word for it. Come along on a Sunday and we will give you proof and evidence of it, and you make up your own mind. And to me, today, this has absolutely demonstrated it in no uncertain terms. Your loved ones are here giving these messages through these well-trained mediums. I want you to join with me in showing your appreciation. Please. So from all of us here at Ringwood East, we wish you a very Merry Christmas. Please stay and have some light refreshment. Thank you very much.